Hello, everybody. This is your boy Ken, aka MrGentleman, and I am the host of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast. If you are enjoying this show, you should also check out the Premier Voice Podcast, hosted by myself, Aaron Kintok Sands, the Star Rider Rod, and Long Live the Chief Mighty Mal, where we discuss many topics within the culture, from music, love, relationships, sex, politics, and many more. We could make you laugh, but the show could also get a little raunchy and may not be for everybody. But if you're willing to take that risk, check out the Premier Voice Podcast every Wednesday, a part of the Premier Powerverse. Other show you could check out on the Premier Powerverse is King Talk with Aaron Sands, hosted by Aaron King Talk Sands every Friday at 12 p.m. Star Time Podcast hosted by the Star Rider Rod every Monday at 12 p.m. And Welcome to the Trilogy hosted by Long Live the Chief Mighty Mal every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Listen and support on every show in the Premier Powerverse. Thank you for listening to this message and enjoy the show. You are now listening to MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast Season 8. Hello, everybody. This is your boy Ken, aka MrGentleman, 1/4 of the Premier Voice Podcast, and your host of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Welcome to another new episode of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Hope all is well, and we are finally here. This is the season 8 finale of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast. And thank you everybody who took the time to listen to season 8 of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast. It really means a lot. And once again, thank you for being a part of this season. And what's going on in this episode is, y'all already know, we got the next move part 4 where we talk about season 8 as a whole, what's to come for season 9, and pretty much how I've been doing. So you already know what to do. Sit back, relax, and I'll be right back.
My name is Heidi de la Cruz, and you are listening to MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. And at this time for MrGentleman Facts quote of the day. And today's quote of the day is, you just got to look at the bigger picture. And I say this because in life, we all were born for a purpose to do our everyday life. But honestly, I feel like it's more to life than what we're doing right now. So if you feel that way, you just have to go out there and do bigger things. Because in life, you just have to look at the bigger picture, and life is bigger than us. And that is today, MrGentleman Facts quote of the day. Hello, everybody. This is your boy Ken, aka MrGentleman, and I am the host of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast. And this commercial break is brought to you by MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast. On MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast, we interview many guests about their life journey, pretty much where they come from and where they at now. Also promoting their brands or whatever they're doing at the time they come on the show. We also have the host talk about personal stories about himself and everything that he's been through. And also we have fun conversation about anything music, anything old school, relationships, wrestling, and many more. And y'all can tune in to MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast every Sundays at 12 a.m. We are also on every Thursdays at 12 a.m. for Spin-Off Series Thursdays, where we have all of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast spin-off series all in one day, where we have a conversation about music podcasts every first Thursday at 12 a.m. the old school show with myself and the Star Riding Rod every fourth Thursday at 12 a.m. And we have Date Night Talk podcast with myself and Miss Vanna B every second and third Thursdays at 12 a.m. And y'all can tune in to Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, The Pods, and many more. Or y'all can check it out on the official website of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast, www.realmrgentlemanlifestylepodcast.com, www.realmrgentlemanlifestylepodcast.com, and tune in every Sundays and Thursdays at 12 a.m. for Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Thank y'all for tuning in to this commercial break of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Back to your regularly scheduled program. Cheer!
Hello, this is Juju here, and you are listening to Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. At this time, the time for the season 8 finale of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. And I just want to take the time to thank you, everybody who took the time to listen, share, rated, got us on the charts, told a friend, every guest that came this season. And yeah, thank you for joining me on this journey and continue to support the show and support Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Even those who didn't listen to the show or listen this season, but do support it, Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast some kind of way, or just what they're watching for the sideline. I appreciate y'all too, because y'all were the reason why I continue to go so hard on this show. So once again, thank you for listening to season 8 of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. We are now at 30,819 downloads, 8 seasons, 20 episodes a season, 246 episodes altogether, 79 guests altogether, but 13 this season, 8 new guests, and 5 returning guests. Multiple time number 1 for Society Culture and Personal Journal on Good Pods. And thank you everybody that continue to grow the show. And it's only up from here, and we're just going to keep going until I can't go no longer. So once again, thank you everybody who took the time to listen to Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast for season 8. Before we dive in more into season 8 of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast, how have I been doing? How I've been doing? Honestly, I've been feeling really good. I feel like for the last couple of years, it's pretty much been the most positive that I've been. My mindset been really good. And yeah, I am actually happy because a lot of things are slowly coming into place. And I'm happy about that. One thing this year taught me is that it's never too late to get things done. I know for a long period of time that I thought I had all the time in the world, but I'm happy that I get a second chance to get things done. And of course, I feel like we always feel like a timeline to get something done, but it's only a waste of time when you're not doing nothing at all, and it's too late to get the things that you really need to get done. So this year made me realize that it's not too late to get things done, and not too late to get to a successful part in your life, and it's not a timeline or anything. So yeah, that what this year taught me, and I'm just happy that every day that is one step into the right direction. Last year during this time, I was dealing with high cholesterol and being super overweight and being very unhealthy when I did this episode last year for the finale. But for that period of time that I changed my lifestyle from eating more healthier, from working out, through to just sleeping early to changing my complete eating style, and I gotta hold you, that was not an easy thing to do because as everybody know me, I love to eat, but what it made me realize that I wasn't loving myself as though as I was. And when I took my physical last year, it made me realize like, yeah, something need to change or things is going to get really worse. So as time went on, I was 218 pounds last year. Then 6 months later after that, I would win 60 pounds. And then I got to the point that I wasn't strict with my eating, so I gained a little bit of weight back. So now I am 180 pounds, which is good. And I'm in a real healthier place now. And I took my physical this year, and I am in a really healthier place. So I'm happy that one thing that I take it more seriously is taking care of myself and loving myself way more and get stuff done before it's too late to get it done. So yeah, and not worrying about what other people think, not worrying about what society thinks. When at the end of the day, your timing is what is important. Don't worry about what your family think. Don't worry about what your friends think. Don't worry about what other people think. As long as you feel like it's your time and you're doing the right thing to get to that point in your life, she'll only be the only thing that matters. So always remember that. And I'm looking forward to what the rest of 2025 have in store for me because I know big things coming, new things in my life are changing, and I'm happy to be at a better place than I was the last couple of years. So yeah, I am doing good physically and mentally, and yeah, I'm just happy for the progress that I have in my life so far. So how do I feel about season 8 of Mr. Gentleman Like That podcast? And I feel that season 8 was actually a pretty good year, a pretty good season, because this season is pretty much is the season where I feel like where I'm at right now in my life. And I feel like the last 3 seasons was pretty much was my most important season. Season 6, which was my favorite season to work on, was my comeback season. Season 7 was pretty much the season where I stepped up. Even though the only bad part about last season that a lot of my listeners did not listen to last season like that. I feel like it was still a good season. And this season is pretty much is the version of Ken is what you have right now. And as of right now, I am proud of that version that I am presenting to y'all right now. And there's only more growth to come because at the end of the day, nobody perfect. We all go through something and we all feel like it's always a dead end and feel like it's no growth, no more growing. When in reality, that in life, you never stop learning. So there's always something new to learn every day in your life. So yeah, and I do have more learn to do as well. And I'm happy with the growth I had so far. And that was season 8 taught me. And and shout out to all the guests that came this season. That everybody was amazing. Every guest was amazing this season. And also, this season was more of a statement season because everybody noticed this season was 90% women, with the session of Aaron Keto Sands, Long Live the Chief Mountain Male, and Mr. Richardson, 1/3 of the Fenelonian podcast. And yeah, I just wanted to make a statement this season with everything that was going on. And I just wanted to shout out to all my women and to let them know that y'all are amazing and it is okay to share your stories. So that was this season was really about. And thank you once again to all the guests that came this season. Everybody was amazing and I'm happy to bring y'all on the show. So now we're going to run down every episode for season 8. And season 8 premiere was on September 15th, 2024. And the first episode was episode 145, which was season 8, episode 1. Allowed me to reintroduce myself, which was a solo episode. And I pretty much talk about everything that happened since the season 7 finale. basically gave you pretty much the update episode of what's going on with me. So season 8, episode 2, we had the Top 20 Countdown Show, Volume 4, our favorite biopic movie with Jalen, returning guest Jalen. And of course this was a really fun episode discussing our favorite biopic movies. And and I enjoyed this episode. I always enjoy doing the Top 20 Countdown series with Jalen, and thank you, Jen, for only joining me on the journey, and many more to come. This season 8, episode 3, we got the American Dreams with Hailey De La Cruz, who is the host of the American Dreams in the Eyes of Immigrants, where we talk about podcasts, we talk about being an immigrant, we talk about being nominated for a podcast award, which, by the way, she won that podcast award. So congrats to Hailey De La Cruz for winning for Women in Podcasting Awards for Society and Culture. Keep doing an amazing thing. And thank you for coming to the show. This was one of my favorite interviews this season. And thank you for the amazing conversation. Once again, on winning the award for Women in Podcasting, Society and Culture. Keep doing amazing things. Season 8, episode 4, we got the Fox Hunter Club with Brownie Marie. And this was also a pretty dope conversation. We discussed the Fox Hunter Club, her dating app. We discussed dating in the generation and many more. And I love the conversation as well. And I definitely want to bring her back on the show so we can discuss more about dating and many more. Because her insight on dating was really dope. And I really enjoyed this episode. So thank you, Miss Brownie, for coming on the show. So season 8, episode 5, we got the origin of the Gentleman name, where I pretty much spoke about how I got the name Mr. Gentleman. And this was a really good episode. So season 8, episode 6, we got Strength with Anastasia, who is a music artist. And we spoke about, her music journey. We spoke about some strength and many more. This was a really good conversation. And season 8, episode 7, we got The Grind of an Author with returning guest Elijah Rose, where she gave us a life updates on everything that she's been doing and spoke about her new books and many more. Thank you, Mr. Elijah, for coming back on the show. Originally, she was supposed to come back for season 6 of Mr. Gentleman, like the podcast, but we just couldn't get nothing done at the time, on both our parts. So happy to bring her back for season 8. And this was a really dope conversation. Season 8, episode 8, Message to My Woman, which was another solo episode. And this was one of my most in-prog episodes this season. And this was pretty much a message to my women, especially the Black women, women of color, and women that believe in change. Pretty much after the election, because of, who we got in office. And this was pretty much an encouragement to other women to let them know that everything will be all right and keep fighting, even with the result that we have. Do not stop fighting that. I am on your side. And that what this episode was about. Season 8, episode 9, The Warm Up, which is another solo episode, which was the mid-season finale of The Gentleman Like That podcast. And this pretty much was more of like an end of the year review type of episode, being much discussing everything that happened for the year 2024. And then of course we took a mid-break. And we had our 6th-year anniversary on Mr. Gentleman Like That podcast. After that, we had season 8, episode 10, which was just a reminder. Pretty much this was pretty much an inspiring episode to let them this inspiring message basically. Season 8, episode 11, the Royal Rumble Prediction episode, where we got Long Live the Chief Molly Mal, one fourth of the Premier Web podcast, and host of Welcome to the Trilogy. And we got Ann, host of Let's Talk About It podcast, and we discussed the Royal Rumble. Y'all already know how we do it with the wrestling prediction episodes. Season 8, episode 12, we got Bonita Speaks with Bonita, who is an entrepreneur, a hairdresser. We have a podcast show called Bonita Speaks, and this was one guest who I know in real life, who I met in real life. And somebody who I wanted to be on the show for a very long time, and I really enjoyed this episode. We spoke about many things from mental health, salon, pocket show, and many more. And this was a really dope conversation as well. So season 8, episode 13, Love is Love 2025, which was the Valentine's Day episode. Season 8, episode 14, we got the Top 20 Countdown Show, Volume 5, our favorite movies, Part 3, with Jalen back on the show. And for this episode, we did our countdown from 60 to 41. And we also announced this episode that we are starting a new spin-off series together, which I will talk about later in this episode. And in the next 3 episodes, were pretty much my 3 favorite guests this season also. Because them 3 back to back brought in amazing conversation. So season 8, episode 15, we defined wellness. We had Neek on the show where we discuss, fitness. We discuss health. We discuss a pocket show. We defined a wellness podcast, and I love this conversation because it was so really good. And thank you, Neek, for sharing everything. And thank you for coming to the show. This was also a long time coming. I'm happy to have her on the show. This was an amazing conversation. Another one of my favorite interviews this season. So thank you, Neek, for coming to the show. Season 8, episode 16, Life of a Content Creator, with Ms. Anna Lewis. And this was another really good interview. We spoke about her book. We spoke about being a content creator. And we also talk about her growing up. And one thing that we had in common was that we both was bullied growing up. And I was happy that she shared her story. So thank you, Anna, for coming to the show. And thank you for sharing this amazing conversation. Season 8, episode 18. Season 8, episode 17, we got Her Journey with Juju, which is another person who I know in real life when I met her doing my podcast journey. And one thing about this episode that I learned a lot doing this episode. And thank you for sharing your story from being a pro bono specialist, from your business, Juju J Production, and everything that you do, from you growing up and everything. This was definitely a long episode, but this was an amazing episode. And thank you for really sharing your story. Thank you for not holding back, and keep doing amazing things. I look forward to see what you do next. And yes, we are. And one thing I just wish would come for this episode, I wish more people would listen to this episode because this episode was really inspiring. So thank you, Juju, for coming to the show. And yes, we are bringing her back for a feature episode of MrGentleman, Like That podcast. Season 8, episode 18, we had podcast and wrestling with Mr. Richardson, 1/3 of the Fan and Learning podcast, and we discussed the podcast show. We discussed him joining the Unfiltered Network, and we discussed wrestling. It gave you a previous sneak peek prediction of the WrestleMania main events. And this was a really fun episode. Thank you, Mr. Richardson, for coming to the show. And the last episode, season 8, episode 19, the big WrestleMania prediction episode, where we had the All-Star prediction wrestling crew. Aaron Keith-Toxian back on the show. Keith-Toker Aaron saying 1/4 of the Premier podcast. Long Live the Chief Mighty Mal, 1/4 of the Premier podcast, and welcome to the trilogy. And Ann for Let's Talk About It with Ann. And this was the big WrestleMania prediction episode where we discussed Stand and Deliver and WrestleMania 40, night 1 and 2. And yeah, of course, thank y'all for, of course, doing this journey. And thank you, everybody who tuned in to season 8 of MrGentleman, Like That podcast. I really enjoyed the season of MrGentleman, Like That podcast. And yeah, and it just light a fire back in me. I know that a lot of things happen. I've been pretty busy now, but I still got love for the show. And I can't wait to continue to grow the show even more. So once again, thank you everybody to tune in to season 8 of MrGentleman, Like That podcast. So when is season 9 of MrGentleman, Like That podcast will release? So originally season 9 was supposed to be on June 1st, but due to a lot of things going on right now, I haven't started planning season 9, and a lot of things been getting away. A lot of personal things been happening right now. Season 9 premiere will be dropping on July 27th. The July 27th, Season 9 premiere of Mr. Gentleman, Like That Podcast. We will have 20 episodes this season. I do have new guests that are coming on this season of Mr. Gentleman, Like That Podcast. We do have some returning guests who will be coming back to Mr. Gentleman, Like That Podcast. We got Miss Janie Ho returning to the show. She was supposed to be for season 8, but things just didn't happen at the time. So we got for season 9 of Mr. Gentleman, Like That Podcast. We got Juju coming back on the show, and we will have the poet that was said on her episode will be joining her on this episode as well. We got the All-Star Wrestling crew coming back on the show. King Talk with Aaron Sands, Long Live the Chief Mighty Mal, and 21 Cows, the Sauce King. Since he missed the WrestleMania prediction, we will have him season 9 as well. And we also will have Jalen back on the show, so we can finish off our favorite movies. So we can finally get to 100. So yeah, and many more guests will be announced. One thing I do got a lot of guests who's on my radar or what on the show for this season. You know, a lot of podcasters, a lot of artists, a lot of doctors, teachers, and more. Every day they're doing amazing things. And hopefully to bring them for season 9 and beyond of Mr. Gentleman, Like That Podcast. So what's going on for Spin-off Series Thursday's lineup? So as you already know, Date Night Talk with myself and Ms. Vanna B already came out with the season 3 premiere last month. So we will be back with a new episode in May. So yeah, Date Night Talk is back. But what's going on with a conversation about music in the Old School Show? So a new season of the Old School Show, season 4 of the Old School Show with myself and the Star Writer Rod will be released in August. So save the date. In August, the Old School Show will be returning. And a conversation about music podcast season 3 will be returning in July. So a conversation about music podcast season 3 will be premiering in July and every first Thursday at 12 p.m. The Old School Show with myself and the Star Writer Rod season 4 will be premiering in August every fourth Thursday at 12 p.m. And Date Night Talk Podcast Season 3 of myself and Donna Beat is out now every second and third Thursdays. Until the fall, and I say until the fall because we got a new show joining the Spin-off Series Thursday lineup. We got the Top 20 Countdown Show, the series with myself and Jalen, which will be the season series premiere of that show will be September 12th. And in September, we will be dropping 2 episodes in September for the season series premiere of the Top 20 Countdown Show. And then after that, starting in October, it will be going to every second Thursdays. So the Top 20 Countdown Show, the series, will be every second Thursday starting in October. And Date Night Talk Podcast will be moving to every third Thursdays starting in October. So we will have 4 Spin-off Series Thursday lineup shows coming this fall. A conversation about music podcast every first Thursdays. Date Night Talk Podcast with myself and Val B every second and Thursday until October. It will be going to every third Thursdays, and that's starting in October. The Top 20 Countdown Show series premiere September 12th with 2 episodes in September, and then October. It will be every second Thursday starting in October. And the Old School Show every fourth Thursday. So save those dates. Spin-off Series Thursday lineup every Thursdays at 12 p.m. Other projects. What is other project I got for Mr. Gentleman Like That Podcast? A lot of my other projects that I got working on at the moment, it will be put on hold. Hopefully, things get less busy. I would get back to start working on those new projects. But one thing I would say, I am working on other podcast production, other things that I am being as a producers of. At the Album Emerson, I am executive producer on that. I do executive producer of the Premier Web podcast. I hope to help out with Welcome to the Trilogy, and I do doing Star Time as well whenever he put up new episodes. And other new projects coming real soon. Once we get more info on that, I will let y'all know. And yeah, also guest appearance that I've been on this season, and honestly, I didn't get on a lot of guest appearances. I only went on 2 shows this season. Star Time podcast, where we spoke about Kendrick Lamar, which came out Christmas Day, and then we have I was also on Visit Places with Coral, where we pretty much discussed, everything. And this episode came out in February, so yeah, I only went on 2 podcast shows this season, and I hope to get on more podcast appearances because, I gotta make up. I gotta make up for a lot. And what's next for Mr. Gentleman Like the podcast? Continue to grow my audience, continue to impact a lot of people and help many people in the podcast community. I want to start monetizing my show finally. I definitely want to start monetizing my show because I want to make this something I do full time. So I'm going to start focusing on that and growing on that as well. And many other goals that I have. And of course, do get a podcast award and help people in the podcast community. So it's a lot of things that I want to do and hope to do many of those things, and yeah. And I just want to say thank you everybody that took the time to listen to the season 8 finale of Mr. Gentleman Like That podcast. And thank you for continuing to join my next journey. And thank you for not giving up on me and my vision. It really means a lot. If you enjoyed this season, thank you. And let's continue to do more Mr. Gentleman Like That podcast, because I do got a lot more story that I want to bring to y'all. And I want to help y'all as much as I can. So thank you once again for tuning into the season 8 finale of Mr. Gentleman Like That podcast. And I'll be right back. Hello, everybody. This is your boy Ken, aka Mr. Gentleman. Now, I am the host of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast, and this commercial break is brought to you by Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast presents Spinoff Series Thursdays. And Spinoff Series Thursday is the new home for Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast Spinoff Series that brought to you shows like A Conversation About Music Podcast, The Old School Show, and Date Night Talk Podcast. And A Conversation About Music Podcast is a music spin-off series where we talk about anything music, from the current music scene and the old school music scene, where we interview many guests that's in the music industry and artists about their music journey. We have a segment game called The Face Off, which is a versus inspired game. And we have roundtable discussion about variety of music topics. And y'all can check out A Conversation About Music podcast every first Thursday at 12 a.m. Every first Thursday at 12 a.m. Now, the Old School Show that features myself and the star Roddy Rod is a show where we discuss anything old school, from music, TV shows, movies, and many more. We also bring in guests to join in on the old school conversation. Y'all can check out the Old School Show with myself and the star Roddy Rod every fourth Thursday at 12 a.m. Every fourth Thursday at 12 a.m. And last but not least, we have Date Night Talk Podcast with myself and Miss Vanna B, where we talk about anything relationship related topics like love, dating, relationships, cheating, the good and the bad, and many more. And y'all can check out this spin-off series, Date Night Talk Podcast, every second and third Thursday at 12 p.m. So look out for Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast Presents Spin-off Series Thursday, a conversation about music podcast every first Thursday. The Old School Show with myself and the Star Riding Rod every fourth Thursdays, and Date Night Talk Podcast with myself and Miss Vanna B every second and third Thursdays. And y'all can check out Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast every Sundays for the main series and every Thursday for spin-off series Thursdays. And thank y'all for checking out this commercial break. And now back to your regularly scheduled program. True! I just want to take the time to thank everybody for tuning in to this latest episode of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Thank you to everybody that tuned in to season 8 of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If you enjoyed the season, listen to the season, told a friend, got me on the charts, and everything, thank you for continuing to support Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. It really means a lot, and once again, I thank you. Thank you to all my guests who came on this season. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for fun conversation. Thank you for just being real and honest to me and my audience. You know, it really means a lot. Once again, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I just want to take the time and shout out every guest who came on with the Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast this season. So shout out to Haley De La Cruz, host of The American Dreams in the Eyes of an Immigrant. Shout out to Brownie Marie. Shout out to Anastasia. Shout out to Bonita from Bonita Speaks. Shout out to Neek from Redefining Wellness Podcast. Shout out to Anna Lewis. Shout out to Juju. Shout out to Mr. Richardson, 1/3 of the Fandalorian podcast coming on the show this season. Thank you for coming on, sharing your story, fun conversation, and just being you. You know, it really means a lot. And y'all are welcome to always come back to Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Also, shout out to my returning guests who came on Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast this season. Shout out to Jalen. Shout out to Aaron, King Talk Sands. Shout out to Long Live the Chief Molly Mal. Shout out to Ange, and shout out to Elijah Rose for coming on the show. Thank y'all for returning to the show and continue to join me on this journey. You know, it really means a lot. And thank you. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Thank y'all. Because if it wasn't for y'all, it would not be no show. So thank y'all, and it really means a lot. If you want to check out the Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast for the main series every Sunday and every Thursday for spin-off series Thursdays, we have shows like A Conversation About Music Podcast every first Thursday at 12 p.m. New season of A Conversation About Music will be dropping in July. So save the date, July. New season of A Conversation About Music Podcast in July and every first Thursday at 12 p.m. Date Night Talk with myself and Ms. Vanna B every second and third Thursday at 12 p.m. New season 3 premiere is out now, so check that episode out. The season 3 premiere of Date Night Talk is out now, and every second and third Thursday at 12 p.m. The Old School Show with myself and the Star Rider Rod. New season of the Old School Show is coming in August, and every fourth Thursday at 12 p.m. Check out the Old School Show with myself and the Star Rider Ride. New season in August and every fourth Thursday at 12 p.m. And look out for the newest spin-off series Thursday show, the Top 20 Countdown Show, the series with myself and Jalen. The series premiere of the Top 20 Countdown Show, the series, will be dropping on September 12th. And every second Thursday at 12 p.m. starting into October. So in September, you'll be getting 2 episodes of the Top 20 Countdown Show, the series. And then October, every second Thursdays at 12 p.m. Check out all these shows in Spin on City Thursday lineup. You can check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Good Pods, and many more. Y'all can rate the show 5-star rating on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Good Pods, and Podchases. The more y'all rate, the more people know about the Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Ken, a.k.a. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Subscribe to us on YouTube, Ken, a.k.a. the Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast, where you can check out the audio version of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. You can check out Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast TV. You can check out Mr. Gentleman Fact Code Today. You can check out the gaming content and more new YouTube projects coming soon and many more. Just subscribe to the YouTube channel because we are still growing the platform. So subscribe to the YouTube channel, Ken, a.k.a. the Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. If you want me to guest on Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast, I am looking for guests for season 9 of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Send me a bio about yourself and everything that you do to my email, KenYPGENT@gmail.com, or hit me up on social media, Ken_Mr. Gentleman. I repeat, Ken, KEN _Mr. MR Gentleman, GENTLEMAN, and we set something up, Kai. Still looking for guests for season 9 of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast and all of the Spin-off City Thursday shows. So there you go. Also, check me out on the Premier Voice Podcast with myself, Aaron Kito-san, the Star Writer Rod, and Long Live the Chief Money Mal. New episodes of the Premier Voice Podcast every Wednesday at 12 p.m., part of the Premier Powerverse Network. Other show you can check out on the Premier Powerverse Network is King Talk with Aaron Sands, hosted by Aaron Kito Sands. All episodes is out now. And also look out for the newest show, After Hours with Aaron Sands, coming real soon. You can also check out Star Time Podcast, hosted by the Star Writer Rod. All episodes is out now. And also look out for new episodes of Long Live the Chief Money Mail Show. Welcome to the trilogy. New episode coming real soon. Listen and support every show in the Premier Powerverse. At this time for everybody's favorite segment. It's time for Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Shout Out, where we shout out every podcaster and we give them their flowers. Since this is the season 8 finale of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast, I will shout out every show that I shouted out this season. So we're going to shout out every show that we shout out this season. So shout out to Hippo Wellness Podcast. Shout out to The American Dreams in the Eyes of Immigrants. Shout out to Podcast for Crawford. Shout out to 12-3 Talkback. Shout out to Pedal of Support Podcast. Shout out to Candid Carol Podcast. Shout out to Edit. Shout out to Elevate Edit Podcast. Shout out to the Things About Us Podcast. Shout out to the Geeky Dad and the Geeky Dad Multiverse. Shout out to Redefining Wellness Podcast. Shout out to the Brown Girl Journey Podcast. Shout out to Chronicle of a Virgo Podcast. Shout out to Better Call Daddy Podcast. Shout out to Doom Generation Podcast. Shout out to Today We Laugh and Learn Podcast. Shout out to Lavender Listen Podcast. Shout out to Kathy Vibes Podcast. Shout out to The Lighthouse Within Podcast. Shout out to The Vegas Places with Coral Podcast. Shout out to Lullaby The Fear Podcast. Shout out to Conversation with Toy. Shout out to Ignite Your Power, the Kathy Mal Podcast. Shout out to Wild Night with Rocky. Shout out to Ladies Pitch. Shout out to Funny Medicine Podcast. Shout out to Unpacking the Box Back Podcast. Shout out to The Bromar Show. Shout out to Gen Zen Words of Wisdom Podcast. Shout out to ACMG Digital Podcast. Shout out to Jalisa Says Podcast. Shout out to The Red Doves Podcast. Shout out to The League of King Podcast. Shout out to The Jabbateers Podcast. Shout out to Wrestling Fan Insight Podcast. Shout out to Wrestling with Faith Podcast. Shout out to Let's Talk About It with Ange Podcast. Shout out to Those Wrestling Girls Podcast. Shout out to My Survivor's Voice, the podcast. Shout out to Ed Michelle Podcast. Shout out to Isaiah Show. Shout out to Confident Cafe. Shout out to Mutual International Love Podcast. Shout out to Rolling Through the All Podcast. Shout out to Beard in Front Podcast. Shout out to The Fandalonians Podcast. Shout out to Nova Tells Podcast. Shout out to Suffers of Black Podcast. And shout out to High Tea with Mel, Kales, and K podcast. Shout out to all those shows that I shout out this season on Mr. Gentleman, like that podcast. All pretty dope shows. Continue to put out dope content and keep doing y'all amazing things. Shout out to y'all, cause all y'all deserve your flowers. And of course, add me on Good Pods, Ken, Mr. Gentleman. Y'all already know Good Pod Kids and many independent podcasts that you can listen to each other's show. We can see what everybody listen to, and we had the charts. And at the time for Mr. Gentleman, like the achievements, where we spotlight everything Mr. Gentleman, like the podcast is doing. And of course, we have the Good Pod charts for society and culture. We are number 2 for the normal charts, and we are still number 1 for the indie chart. We've been number 1 for 34 days on the indie charts. For personal journal, we are still number 1. We've been number 1 for 38 days. So if you still listen to Mr. Gentleman, like that podcast on Good Pod, thank you for continuing to listen to the show and supporting us on Good Pod, and continue to support Mr. Gentleman and like that podcast on Good Pod at every podcast platform. You know, it really means a lot, and thank you. And of course, check out the official website of Mr. Gentleman, like that podcast, www.realmrgentlemanlikethatpodcast.com. You could check out every episode of Mr. Gentleman, like that podcast, all 246 episodes of Mr. Gentleman, like that podcast. You can check out every guest who was featured on Mr. Gentleman, like that podcast, all 79 guests who've been on Mr. Gentleman, like that podcast. You can check out every guest appearance that I've been doing. We have more guest appearances coming real soon. And of course, check out the official merch store from Mr. Gentleman, like the podcast, www.tpublic.com. Just search Mr. Gentleman, like the store. We have shirts, hoodies, mugs, and many more. Support the merch store so we can upgrade your listening experiences. So check out the official merch store from Mr. Gentleman, like the podcast, www.tpublic.com. Search Mr. Gentleman, like the store, and check out the official website from Mr. Gentleman, like the podcast, www.realmrgentlemanlikethatpodcast.com. And once again, thank you everybody that tuned into the latest episode of Mr. Gentleman, like the podcast. Thank you to everybody who check out the season 8 finale of Mr. Gentleman, like the podcast. Thank you for being a part of the journey. You know, it really means a lot. Once again, I thank y'all. So what's next for Mr. Gentleman, like the podcast? Even though the main series may be over, I do got a couple episodes coming up for y'all to check out for Mr. Gentleman, like the podcast. Y'all already know on May 17th, I will have my birthday episode of Mr. Gentleman, like the podcast. Y'all already know I discuss, my birthday and stuff like that, so look out for that. Also in May, we got the next episode of Mr. Gentleman, like that podcast presents Date Night Talk podcast with myself and Vanna B. Second week of May, so look out for that. Season 3 premiere of Mr. Gentleman, like that podcast presents a conversation about a new podcast coming in July. Season 4 premiere of Mr. Gentleman, like that podcast presents old school show coming in August. The series premiere of Mr. Gentleman, like that podcast presents the top 20 countdown show, the series with myself and Ms. Jalen, coming on September 12th. And the season 9 premiere of Mr. Gentleman, like that podcast, the main series, is coming on July 27th. So save the date, July 27th, Mr. Gentleman, like that podcast, season 9 premiere, July 27th. And every Sundays for the main series, and every Thursday for spin-off series Thursday. Thank you, everybody that listened to Mr. Gentleman, like that podcast from the season 4 in general. If you listen to all 246 episodes, I thank you. Have a good day or night, wherever you're listening to this episode. Chill!
This is Brownie Marie, founder of the Fox Hunters Club dating app, and you are listening to Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast.